When launching large, complicated long-term projects, the planners often know that at certain points along the way, they will need components that simply do not yet exist.
The fact
The fact that at the beginning there is no way to get from A to B does not deter them.
There are
many parts of the project they can get started on now,
and they
and they just assume that by the time they get to the point where they will need a technology or a device,
they will have
solved the problem of making it,
and they have
and
been
they have been proven right
time
time and again.
Stated
Stated simply,
the
the
technique
is to clearly know what you want to accomplish,
have
have faith in your ability to do it,
and
and persist until you have accomplished your goal.
This is the
This is the end of the editor's comments.
Why
Why you
are the master
of your fate.
When the
When
famed
English poet William Henley wrote the prophetic lines,
I am
the master of my fate,
I am
the captain of my soul,
he should have
informed us that the reason we are the masters of our fate,
the
the captains of our souls,
is that
is that we have the power to control our thoughts.
He should have
told us that it is because in some way our brains become magnetized with the dominating thoughts that we hold in our minds.
And it is
as though our magnetized minds attract to us the forces, the people,
and the
circumstances of life that are in sync with our dominating thoughts.
He should have
told us that before we can accumulate riches in great abundance, we must magnetize our minds with intense desire for riches.
That we
must become money conscious until the desire for money drives us to create definite plans for acquiring it.
But
being a poet,
Henley
contented himself by stating a great truth in poetic form, leaving those who followed him to interpret the philosophical meaning of his lines.
Little by
little,
the truth
has unfolded itself,
until
I have come to know with certainty that the principles described in this book hold the secret of mastery over our economic fate. Principles that can change your destiny.
We are now
ready to examine the first of these principles.
And as we
do, I ask you to maintain a spirit of open-mindedness. Remember as you read that these principles are not my invention.
Nor are they
the invention of any one person.
These
principles have worked for literally millions of people.
You too
can put them to work for you and your own enduring benefit.
You will find
it easy, not hard to do.
Some years
ago, I delivered the commencement address at Salem College in Salem, West Virginia. I emphasized with so much intensity the need to have a burning desire that one of the members of the graduating class became completely convinced and made it a cornerstone of his own philosophy.
That young
man became a congressman and an important factor in President Franklin D. Roosevelt's administration.
He wrote
me a letter in which he so clearly stated his opinion of the principle of desire, outlined in the next chapter, that I have chosen to publish his letter as an introduction to that chapter.
It gives you
an idea of the rewards to come.
My dear
Napoleon,
my
service as a member of Congress having given me an insight into the problems of men and women, I am writing to offer a suggestion which may become helpful to thousands of worthy people.
In
1922, you delivered the commencement address at Salem College when I was a member of the graduating class.
In that
address, you planted in my mind an idea which has been responsible for the opportunity I now have to serve the people of my state, and will be responsible in a very large measure for whatever success I may have in the future. I recall, as though it were yesterday,
the
marvelous description you gave of the method by which Henry Ford, with but little schooling, without a dollar, with no influential friends, rose to great heights.
I made
up my mind then, even before you had finished your speech, that I would make a place for myself, no matter how many difficulties I had to surmount. Thousands of young people will finish their schooling this year and within the next few years. Every one of them will be seeking just such a message of practical encouragement as the one I received from you. They will want to know where to turn, what to do to get started in life. You can tell them because you have helped to solve the problems of so many people. There are thousands of people in America today who would like to know how they can convert ideas into money. People who must start from scratch without finances and recoup their losses.
If
If anyone can help them,
you can.
you can.
If you
If you publish the book,
I would
I would like to own the first copy that comes from the press, personally autographed by you.
With best
With best wishes, believe me. Cordially yours,
Jennings
Randolph.
Since that
time in 1922, I watched Jennings Randolph rise to become one of the nation's leading airline executives, a great inspirational speaker, and a United States Senator from West Virginia. 35 years after I made that speech, it was my pleasure to return to Salem College in 1957 and deliver the baccalaureate sermon. At that time, I received an honorary Doctor of Literature degree from Salem College.
Editor's
comments.
As you
begin the next chapter,
the
editors would like to reinforce the earlier statement that what you are reading is not just a collection of theories out of which you can cherry-pick what you like.
The
The 13 principles of success were proven by the real-life experiences of the long list of famous successful people cited earlier by Napoleon Hill.
His
His techniques are also practiced and endorsed by the contemporary experts and authors whom the editors mentioned, following Hill's list.
More than
60 million people have purchased copies of the book that you are now holding in your hands.
If this
book has proven to be that successful, surely you owe it to yourself to give it every chance to work for you too.
Read it.
Don't question it.
Do it.
If you don't, if you think that you know better than Napoleon Hill, if you decide to pick and choose the parts that you will believe or follow, then if you don't succeed, you will never know if your failure lies with this book or with you.
This is the
end of the editor's comments.
Whatever
the mind of man can conceive and believe,
it can
achieve.
Chapter
3. Desire. The starting point of all achievement.
The
first step toward riches.
When
Edwin C. Barnes climbed down from the freight train in West Orange, New Jersey,
he may have
resembled a tramp, but his thoughts were those of a king.
As he made
his way from the railroad tracks to Thomas A. Edison's office, his mind was at work. He saw himself standing in Edison's presence. He heard himself asking Mr. Edison for an opportunity to carry out the one consuming obsession of his life, a burning desire to become the business associate of the great inventor. Barnes' desire was not a hope. It was not a wish. It was a pulsating desire which transcended everything else. It was definite.
A few
years later, Edwin C. Barnes again stood before Edison in the same office where he first met the inventor. This time, his desire had been translated into reality. He was in business with Edison. The dominating dream of his life had become a reality. Barnes succeeded because he chose a definite goal, placed all his energy, all his willpower, all his effort. He put everything he had into achieving that goal.
5
years passed before the chance he had been seeking made its appearance. To everyone except himself, he appeared to be just another cog in the Edison business wheel. But in Edwin Barnes' own mind, he was the partner of Edison every minute from the very day that he first went to work there. It is a remarkable illustration of the power of a definite desire. Barnes won his goal because he wanted to be a business associate of Mr. Edison's more than he wanted anything else. He created a plan by which to attain that purpose, and he burned all bridges behind him. He stood by his desire until it became the dominating obsession of his life, and finally, a fact. When he went to West Orange, he did not say to himself, "I will try to induce Edison to give me a job of some sort." He said, "I will see Edison and put him on notice that I have come to go into business with him." He did not say, "I will keep my eyes open for another opportunity in case I fail to get what I want in the Edison organization." He said, "There is one thing in this world that I am determined to have, and that is a business association with Thomas A. Edison. I will burn all bridges behind me and stake my entire future on my ability to get what I want."
He left
He left himself no possible way of retreat.
He had
He had to win
or
or perish.
That is
all there is
to the
to the barn story of success.
Allow
yourself
no
retreat.
A
A long while ago,
a great
warrior faced a situation in which he had to make a decision that ensured his success on the battlefield.
He was
He was about to send his armies against a powerful foe whose men outnumbered his.
He loaded
his soldiers into boats, sailed to the enemy's country, and unloaded the soldiers and equipment.
Then he
Then he gave the order to burn the ship that had carried them. Addressing his men before the first battle, he said, "You see the boats going up in smoke.
That
That means we cannot leave these shores alive unless we win.
We
We
now
have no choice.
We
We win
or we
or we
perish."
perish."
They won.
They won.
Every
Every person who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat.
That is
That is the only way you can be sure of maintaining the state of mind known as a burning desire to win.
It is
It is essential to success.
The
The morning after the Great Chicago Fire,
a group
of merchants stood on State Street, looking at the smoking remains of what had been their stores.
They went
They went into a conference to decide if they would try to rebuild or if they would leave Chicago and start over in a more promising section of the country.
They
They decided to leave,
all
all except one.
The
The
merchant
who decided to stay and rebuild pointed a finger at the remains of his store and said, "Gentlemen,
on
on that very spot, I will build the world's greatest store,
no matter
how many times it may burn down."
That was
That was in 1871.
The
The store was built.
It still
It still stands there today.
The
The Marshall Fields department store is a towering monument to the power of that state of mind known as a burning desire.
The
The easy thing would have been for Marshall Field to do exactly what his fellow merchants did.
When the
When the going was hard
and
and the future looked dismal,
they
they pulled up and went where the going seemed easier.
Mark
well this difference between Marshall Field
and the
and
other
the other
merchants.
merchants.
It is
It is that difference which distinguishes those who succeed
from
from those who fail.
Every
Every human being old enough to understand the value of money
wishes
for it.
But
But wishing
will not
bring riches. Desiring riches
with a
with a state of mind that becomes an obsession,
then
then planning definite ways and means to
acquire
acquire riches,
and
and backing those plans with persistence,
a
a
persistence
persistence which does not recognize failure.
That's
That's what will bring riches. Editor's comments.
In other
of his writings, Napoleon Hill uses the term definiteness of purpose as being interchangeable with desire.
The
The following explanation is adapted from the Napoleon Hill Foundation's book, Believe and Achieve. Desire or definiteness of purpose is more than goal setting.
In
In simplest terms, your desire is your roadmap to achieving an overall career objective.
Your
Your goals represent specific steps along the way.
Having
Having a desire
or
or definiteness of purpose for your life
has a
has a synergistic effect on your ability to achieve your goals.
As you
As you become better at what you do,
you
you devote all of your resources toward reaching your objective.
You
You become more alert to opportunities,
and you
and you reach decisions more quickly. Every action you take ultimately boils down to the question,
will
will this goal help me reach my desire, my overall objective,
or
or won't it?
Your
Your purpose will become your life.
It will
It will permeate your mind,
both
both conscious
and
and subconscious.
This is the
end of the editor's comments. 6 ways
to turn
desire
into gold.
into gold.
The
The method by which your desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps.
1.
1.
Fix in
Fix in your mind the exact amount of money you desire.
It is not
It is not sufficient merely to say,
I want
plenty of money.
Be
Be definite about the amount.
There is
There is a psychological reason for such definiteness explained in subsequent chapters.
2.
2.
Determine
exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire.
There is
There is no such reality as something for nothing.
3.
3. Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire.